When you download a Spritoon project, so you've rigged characters, you've animated them, and then you've pressed the download, and that creates a zip file which you can decompress. It then creates a series of files, 5 files in total. An index that's simply going to load the Spritoon library, and it's going to load a file called game.js, and once the DOM's all downloaded, it's going to create a game that's 640 pixels by 450 pixels. The game is this code here, which automatically is set to download the project file as a JSON file, which in turn will load the sprite sheet that's been created. The sprite sheet will contain all the information about the images that you added to your project initially, and it will also include how you've rigged your characters and how you've animated your characters. You don't really need to know particularly about how this works. Just be aware of the fact that this JSON file contains this information. And in the initialization function for the game, it looks through the data in the JSON file. That's the sprite data there is project JSON. Looks for sprites, and if it finds sprites and that the length of them is greater than 0, then it looks through those and initializes any actors it finds and sets those actors going with the action in the action array at position index 0, and by default it positions the actor in the middle of your canvas. And the update is now going to be updating an actor. An actor it's a sprite that contains multiple sprites that are in a hierarchy. If you looked at the previous video, you'll see how you rigged it, that you could have a hand parented to a lower arm, parented to an upper arm, parented to the body, and by moving the body, all the children of that would move. All you need to do in your game is call update for your actors, and the actors will look after position themselves correctly. And then in your render, call the actor render method. That's all you need to do. When you initialize an actor, it's new actor, this sprite data sprites and the index value for it. It needs to know about all the frames that are in the data, and it needs the image itself. This JSON here will give it all the information about what sprites to create, how to position them, where their anchor points are, how they are going to rotate, how they're going to move, and what animations they contain. The animations for an actor are called actions in the Spritoon library. So an actor contains sprites, and an actor is animated using actions. If you look in the Spritoon library itself, this is an actor, and it's created from a series of nodes. Those were the nodes that you put into a hierarchy when you were rigging it using the Spritoon online app. It's important when you create your images that all images have a unique name, because it's the name that is used when creating the sprites from the series of nodes. So the nodes all have to have unique names, very important, and those node names correspond to the image name. The order layers method of an actor is used to ensure that the layer ordering of the sprites is correct. When something needs to go behind something, this ensures that that happens. And the select action method allows you to switch between the different actions that are available to the actor. In the update method, we're using matrix multiplication, and we'll look at matrices in the next video. Matrices are essential when you're having parent-child relationships. As soon as you start scaling and rotating something, then you need to know how to handle that as it moves up and down the hierarchy of different sprites in a chain. For example, if you rotate the upper arm, then clearly the lower arm is going to move with it. And matrix multiplication ensures that it's in the right place and at the right angle. Here's the definition of the action class, which uses keyframes. A key is very simple. It's simply a time, a value, and an easing function. The easing function allows you to animate slowly from a standing start and decelerate into a stop position, and lots of other options in between. In addition to actors and actions, we have anim sprites, which take a series of still images, and their animation for them are controlled by an anim. And the simplest sprite is just a sprite that displays an individual image. That's at its simplest. So that's the Spritoon library. Actors with actions, anim sprites with anims to control their animation, and sprites. And when an actor is used, it's a hierarchy of sprites where the position and rotation is all defined by matrices, which we'll look at in the next video.